So I'm really interested in how much the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox One Series X, or what are they calling that console again? Xbox Series X. What a ridiculous name. It turns out there's a possibility of an Xbox Series S, which is going to be even cheaper than the X. Isn't this like we already had an S and an X? I feel like, what are you doing, Microsoft? But I'm really interested in how much these consoles are going to cost for a lot of reasons. It's kind of looking like they're going to almost be just under the price of a decently capable budget computer. And if that's the case, and then it comes to me like, what's the point of getting a PlayStation? Why wouldn't I just get the PC? Because I think there's so many better reasons to be a PC gamer. And every time I make a comment like that, the console guys eat me up. I like consoles. I'm for sure going to get either a 5 or an X. I don't know yet. I like to have at least one. I usually would always buy both. That's not happening this year. This year, this time I'm only going for one because now I'm definitely more of a PC guy than I used to be. But I really am watching this because I do believe, and maybe I'm wrong, this is in my opinion, if the consoles are too high in their price, I don't think that they're gonna be very successful. I really don't. I think that you take it too high, you're asking for trouble. And then you've got the guy that's I forget who said it, but there's a guy in Sony saying, "Oh, the video game consoles are recession proof." Sure, that's true, but I think you're also having a little bit of ego there. All right, you can't go that high with them. So anyway, especially when the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One are still pretty viable for people, I don't think you're going to see a big jump to this platform like you would usually see. Like I said before, they've all pretty much come out and said that all of the games that are on like the new systems are going to be on the old ones for at least a year. I don't think PlayStation has outright said it, but Microsoft has, and I expect them to follow suit. So anyway, let's get into this. So here's the leak. Just a week after it was announced during Sony's The Future of Gaming event, it appears leaks and speculation for the PlayStation 5 are emerging, this time surrounding its retail price. So here was the leak. Let me blow it up for you here so you can see it. This comes off of the French Amazon. So that's where this came from. Like I said, this, take it with a grain of salt. It may or may not be legit, but to me, that's a pretty good. What's next for Chuck E. Cheese is trending. What? I want to know what's next for Chuck E. Cheese. I'll have to check that out after I make this video. But I think that that's actually a pretty good price point. So that would come out to $500 American for the top end version. So if you want the one with the optical drive, that's going to be $500. If you just want the digital version, that's $400. That seems pretty low to me, but that's a solid price point. That's a price point that works and I think could be really successful and would entice me to maybe picking one up. I think $400 to $500 is pretty solid. I think that's a price that works. We'll see. Like I said, take this with a grain of salt. This is not 100% confirmed. It is just a leak, and it might not even be a real one, but I like talking about this stuff, and I think a lot of people are curious, and it could turn out to be legit. That's what would be interesting about this. So if this is legit, I think that's a very competitive price, and I think that's a price that would keep them in a successful track. I think $600 is pushing it, but realistically, at the end of the day, that's how much I think that optical drive PS5 is going to be. I think it's going to be $600. But if this is legit, that's welcome news in my opinion. So concept designer and tech content creator Ben Geskin recently stumbled upon this, and this was on the Amazon French website, listing the standard model at €500 and the digital edition that lacks a physical drive at €400. This would mean the price stateside would be set at $500 and $400. The page, which has since been updated to remove this leaked information, also listed a release date of November 20th, 2020 in France. Speculators had already imagined the target price to be around 400 to 500 USD once the console officially releases, to position itself approximately with home gaming consoles of previous generations. For example, the original PS4 at launch was listed at 400 and 400 euros. The release dates began on November 15th in the US and November 29th in Europe, which aligns with the leaked holiday release schedule. But that could also mean whoever was making that as a joke put that there, to line it up and make it look legit. So I don't know. It's tough to say if this is real or not, but if it is, I think that that's a price that could work. I don't quite know if there's been very many leaks for the Xbox. I think that they likely want to undercut Sony. So it'll be interesting to see. I know that they have that Xbox Series S, which is supposed to be significantly cheaper than the Xbox Series X. What a mouthful to say it like that, but we'll see what happens. For comparison, they have it right here. Microsoft's Xbox Series X is speculated to arrive with a more competitive price structure to the PS5 at 400 USD, which includes a physical drive. No digital edition has been announced for launch, but there's talk of a slower version of the Series X, which would drastically undercut the PS5. I don't know if it really will make that big of a difference. Here's the thing with the Xbox. I was a big Xbox fan, but I look at their system and I think, do I really need it? Because I already have a pretty sweet PC. So at the same time, I'm thinking, well, it would be nice to have it, but they've already announced every single game is coming to PC. So what's the benefit to getting there? The one advantage, and a lot of people say, oh, I'm a Sony hater. I'm going to tell you, Sony has one advantage with their systems. Their console exclusives are going to stay console exclusives. And I got to tell you, PlayStation has some damn good exclusives. I don't really hate them that much. I think that their games, their first-party studios are really good. And those games not going to PC is a big advantage for their system, whereas Xbox, everything's going to PC. So what's the benefit to me buying the Xbox Series X? If I can play everything on my PC and with an Xbox controller anyway, where's the reason that I need to get that system? So that's why if I was going to pick one up, I would probably go with the PlayStation, especially if it's only going to be $500 for the high-end version. It's not killing you to do that one. I think that that's, with inflation, pretty on point with the PlayStation 4. So I'm not, and plus don't forget, they sell the PlayStation Pro, I think, for $400. So if you're used to buying, the more high-end console anyway, it's only a little bit more. And if you want, for $400, you can get the discless version, which I think most people nowadays are buying digital anyway. And I always see the comments, I like physical, and that's fine. I imagine all of you guys are going to get the disc system anyway. But for those who don't care, they can save $100. I think that that's pretty competitive. So we'll see what happens. I'm really interested in this console generation because I think it might be the last one, in my opinion. I think by the time we get to a PlayStation 6, I wonder, eventually the streaming thing is going to get good enough to where you just need a box and you can just stream games like that Stadia stuff. We're not there yet. That's why Google Stadia was a disaster. But I think, in a generation or two, we will be there. And at that point, a lot of things are going to change. But anyway, this is pretty shocking if true. $400 to $500. I think that that's a price that works, and I think that that's something that most people will be okay with. So interesting stuff. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you guys think? Do you think this is legit? Is this a price that you would be happy with? What are your thoughts? Are you going to get the Xbox Series X? What's your answer to my question on the Xbox Series X, where I tell you I can just play the games on PC? Like, I've always thought that was a negative, whereas a lot of people see that as a positive. It just gives me no incentive to buy an Xbox anymore. That's my thoughts on it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Throw a like up, share the video. Make sure you still subscribe. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.